In this lecture, I'm going to solve a problem on the calculation of deflection for a simply supported beam and that is subjected to uniformly distributed load. So here I'm going to use the Macaulay's method to calculate the deflection. A beam of length 8 meter is simply supported at its ends. It carries a uniformly distributed load of 40 kilonewton per meter as shown in figure. So here the image is given in the problem. Determine the deflection at its midspan. So that is y at the midspan. Midspan means at the center. So at x is equal to 4 meter and the position at which the maximum deflection occurs. So that is x value and the y max. So the E and I is given. Okay. So first we have to convert this uniformly distributed load into a point load to calculate the reaction force. So I am going to convert this into a point load and its magnitude is 40 into 4 and it is acting at a distance of 2 meters. So 40 divided by 2 is 2 meter. So it is 80. Okay, fine. So this is my loading condition and I have the supports at two extreme, that is RA and RB. So let me calculate the reaction force first. So first I have considered the total upward force is equal to the total downward force. So RA plus RB is equal to, sorry, so here it is 160, it is not 80. Here it is 160. So RA plus RB is equal to 160 kilo Newton. Fine. The second one is moment about the left extreme point is equal to 0. So that is moment about point A is equal to 0. Okay. So we'll write RB into the distance is 8 meter, 8, then minus, because this 160 kilonewton is acting in the clockwise direction. So it is 160 into the distance is, here it is 1 and here it is 2. So totally it is 3. That is equal to 0. Okay. So now if I solve this, I will get RB is equal to 60 kilonewton. So if I substitute it here in the first equation, then I will get RA is equal to 100 kilonewton. So now I have calculated the RA value and RB value. So RA is 100 and RB is 60. Okay, fine. So up to the calculation of reaction force, it is common. So it is like the previous problem. So we don't have any confusions. But for calculating the bending moment, we have to consider the Macaulay's method. And remember that in Macaulay's method, all the loads should be marked from the supports. Okay, so here, as we know in the previous problem, I have fixed the origin in the right side and I am going to consider a plane XX in the left extreme point. So my loadings should start from the plane. So what I am going to do is I am going to add a uniformly distributed load in the up and the same magnitude of uniformly distributed load in the down. So here the 40 kilonewton per meter is acting in the downward direction and here the same 40 kilonewton meter is acting in the upward direction. So actually it will be nullified, but for Macaulay's method the load should start from the plane XX. So that is why I have considered these two uniformly distributed loads. So now I can convert this, so this is my section XX and I can convert these two uniformly distributed loads into point loads. So here this is my overall distance and this distance is x. So since I have started the origin from the right side, the distance between the origin and the plane xx is considered as the x. Fine. So here this uniformly distributed load, that is 40 kilonewton per meter, it starts from the point D. Okay. So here, so this from this to the section D, this distance is actually the overall distance is x, and here it is x minus 3. So this is x minus 3. So this 40 kilonewton per meter is acting at a distance of x minus 3. Okay. So I'm going to mark it. So this is my load, that is 40 kilonewton, and it is acting at a distance of x minus 3. Okay. And we know that the distance is half of its overall distance. So the overall distance is x minus 3. So it is x minus 3 divided by 2. So now I have converted the 40 kilonewton per meter that is acting in the downward direction into a point load. So the magnitude is 40 kilonewton per meter, and it is acting at a distance of x minus 3, because from here to here it is x. So it is x minus 3, and the distance is x minus 3 divided by 2. So now coming here, so this is actually another 40 kilonewton per meter. As I told you earlier, it is of same magnitude. And this 40 kilonewton per meter is acting at a distance of, so what is the distance? The overall distance is x, and from C to B it is 3 plus 4, it is 7. So here it is x minus 7. So this magnitude is, it is acting in the upward direction. So its magnitude is 40 into x minus 7, and its distance, so this distance is actually half of the length, that is x minus 7 divided by 2. So now this beam is subjected to two reaction forces, that is 100 in the upward direction, 60 in the upward direction, then this 40 into x minus 3 in the downward direction at a distance of x minus 3 divided by 2, and another 40 into x minus 7 in the upward direction at a distance of x minus 7 divided by 2. So this conversion process is very important, because once if you convert the uniformly distributed loads into point loads, then the problem will be simple like the previous problem. Okay. So now I have converted it. Now we can solve this. So we'll write the bending moment equation by considering the Macaulay's method. So the bending moment, that is EI d square y divided by dx square is equal to, so I am going to take the bending moment about the plane xx. Okay, so consider the right side. Here this 60 kilonewton is acting in the counterclockwise direction, so it is considered as positive. So it is 60 into the distance is x, and minus this 40 into x minus 3 is acting in the clockwise direction, that is why I have considered negative. So it is 40 into x minus 3 is the, this is actually the load, and so this is actually the Macaulay's bracket. Okay, so here also this is Macaulay's bracket. So it is 40 into x minus 3 into the distance is x minus 3 divided by 2. So this is for load, and this is the perpendicular distance. Then another 40 into x minus 7 is acting in the clockwise direction. So here it is plus 40 into x minus 7, and it is acting at a distance of x minus 7 divided by 2. It is x minus 7 divided by 2. So this is the bending moment equation by Macaulay's method. Okay, as I told you earlier, inside the Macaulay's bracket, if you get negative term, then you can omit the whole term. Fine. So now I'm going to calculate the slope from this bending moment. So that is ei dy divided by dx. Okay, so here if you want, you can multiply the x minus 3. So that is you can write like this. You can write ei d square y by dx square is equal to 60 into x minus 40 into x minus 3 the whole square divided by 2 plus 40 into x minus 7 the whole square divided by 2. So now the slope is ei dy by dx, that is equal to, so I am going to integrate this to get the dy by dx. It is 60 x square divided by 2 minus 40 x minus 3 the whole cube divided by 2 into 3 plus 40 x minus 7 the whole cube divided by 2 into 3 plus C1 is the constant. Further, to get the deflection, I am going to differentiate it once again. So I will get EIY, so that is 60 x cube divided by 2 into 3, then minus 40 x minus 3 the whole power 4 divided by 2 into 3 into 4 plus 40 x minus 7 the whole power 4 divided by 2 into 3 into 4 plus C1x plus C2. So if I simplify this equation, then I will get EI y is equal to 10 x cube minus 1.67 x minus 3 the whole power 4 plus 1.67 x minus 7 the whole power 4 plus C1x plus C2. So let us consider this equation as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. Okay. Now coming to the boundary conditions to calculate the constant C1 and C2. So look into the beam. So at this point the deflection will be 0 and at the left extreme point also the deflection will be equal to 0. So the first boundary condition is at x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 and at the left extreme point the x value is 8. So the second boundary condition is at x is equal to 0, I mean at x is equal to 8, the y is equal to 0. So now I am going to apply the boundary condition in the second equation. So we'll substitute the first boundary condition in equation number 2. So if I substitute x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0 in this equation, then 0 is equal to, so this will be 0, then minus, if I put 0 here then I will get minus 3. So as I told, if the negative term comes then we have to neglect this, so we will get minus 0. Similarly, if you put 0 here then the whole term will be neglected. So 0 plus C1 into 0 is 0 plus C2. So that is C2 is equal to 0. So substitute this in the equation number 2. So that is substitute C2 is equal to 0 in equation number 2. That is EIY is equal to 10 x cube minus 1.67 x minus 3 the whole power 4 plus 1.67 x minus 7 the whole power 4 plus C1 into x. So let's say this is equation number 3. So now substitute the second boundary condition, that is substitute second boundary condition in equation number 3, that is the above equation. So y is 0. Then 10x square is 10 into 8 cube minus 1.67, 8 minus 3 the whole power 4 plus 1.67, 8 minus 7 the whole power 4 plus 8 into C1. So if you look into the Maclaurin's bracket, here you will get the positive value and here also you will get the positive value. So we don't need to worry about the Maclaurin's bracket. So if you solve this, finally you will get the C1 value as minus 509.74. So substitute C1 is equal to minus 509.74 in the third equation. So in this equation, so I will get EIY is equal to 10x cube minus 1.67 x minus 3 the whole power 4 plus 1.67 x minus 7 the whole power 4 minus, instead of C1 it is 509.74x. So let us say this is our fourth and final deflection equation. Okay, so up to this the problem is same. So up to calculation of final deflection equation it is same. Now by using this equation you can calculate the deflection at any point. So first we have to calculate the deflection at the center point, and as I told you earlier, at the center point the x value will be 4, because if I move the plane here, so if this is the plane then the x value will be 4 meter because it is at the center. So at the center x is equal to 4 meter. So I am going to substitute x is equal to 4 in the fourth equation. So my fourth equation will become EIY is equal to 10 into 4 cube minus 1.67, 4 minus 3 the whole power 4 plus 1.67, 4 minus 7 the whole power 4 minus 509.74 into 4. So here in this Maclaurin's bracket you will get the positive value. So here you will get the negative value. So neglect this term and consider the remaining terms. So if you solve this, then you will get EIY is equal to minus 1415.66 and it will be in kilonewton meter cube. Okay, but in the problem the E value and I values are given in mm and Newton. So what I am going to do is I am going to convert this kilonewton meter cube into Newton mm cube. So I am going to multiply 10 power 12 with this into 10 power 12 Newton mm cube. So 10 power 3 for converting kilonewton into Newton and 10 power 9 for meter cube to mm cube. So further this y is equal to minus 1415.66 into 10 power 12 and the E and I values are given in the problem. So E is 2 into 10 power 5 and I is 4.3 into 10 power 8. So if you solve this then you will get minus 16.46 mm. So this is the deflection at the center. Then the second one is the position at the maximum deflection. Okay, so we know that the position at the maximum deflection can be found out by the slope equation, that is dy by dx is equal to 0 at the maximum deflection. Okay, so here if you come to the slope equation, so this is your dy by dx. So this is equation number 1 and here instead of C1 you can substitute the constant value. Okay, so in this equation I am going to put dy by dx is equal to 0. So let's write the equation first. So it is 0 is equal to 60x square by 2. So this is 60x square divided by 2. Then minus 40 x minus 3 the whole cube divided by 2 into 3. Then plus 40 x minus 7 the whole cube divided by 2 into 3. Then instead of plus C1, I am going to put the C1 value, that is 509.74. Okay. Then another important point is, so if you see this equation, the drawing, the maximum deflection will occur in between this C and D. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider only this B to C region, and I'm going to neglect this remaining region. So just like the previous problem, I'm going to neglect this x minus 7 because I'm going to consider only up to this C point. So if I consider up to C point, then the maximum possible x value will be 7. So if you consider this, then 7 minus 7 will be equal to 0. So there is no need to consider that. So I'm going to neglect it. So I'm going to neglect this x minus 7 term. Okay. So with the remaining terms, I can calculate the x value. So I'm going to solve this. So this is my 30x square, then minus 6.67. So if you solve 40 divided by 6, it is 6.67. Then x minus 3 the whole cube is in the form of a minus b the whole cube, and we know that for a minus b the whole cube, the equation is a minus b the whole cube is equal to a cube minus b cube minus 3 a square b plus 3 ab square. Okay. So the x minus 3 the whole cube is in the form of a minus b the whole cube. So I am going to write it like this. So it is x cube minus b cube. 3 cube is 27. Then minus 3a square b, that is 3x into 3 square, that is 9x square. Then plus 27x. Then minus 509.74 is equal to 0. By solving this, I'll get minus 6.67x cube plus 90.03 x square, then minus 180.09 x minus 329.65 is equal to 0. So this will be my final equation. So now this is in the form of ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to 0. Now you can use your calculator with degrees 3. So in the equation mode, you will get two modules. One is unknown mode and another one is degree mode. So in the degree mode, you can select 3, and this is your a value, b value, c value and d value. So you will get 3 x values. So my calculated x values are 10.46 and minus 1.13 and 4.16 meter. So here 10.46 is not possible because the maximum value for x is 8 meter and negative values are not possible. So my final x value is equal to 4.16 meter. So the maximum deflection can be found at a x value of 4.16. So maximum deflection at x is equal to 4.16 meter. Okay. So now I can substitute x is equal to 4.16 in my fourth equation. So my fourth equation will be, so this is my fourth equation. So EIY is equal to 10 into 4.16 cube, then minus 1.67 into 4.16 minus 3 the whole power 4, then plus 1.67 4.16 minus 7 the whole power 4 minus 509.74 into 4.16. So here in this Maclaurin's bracket, you will get the positive value, so no problem. Here in this Maclaurin's bracket, the negative value will come, so neglect the whole term. So consider the remaining terms and calculate the EIY value. So the calculated EIY value will be 1403.6 kilonewton meter cube. So as we seen earlier, we have to convert this into Newton mm cube. So I am going to multiply 10 power 12 with this, because the E value and I values are given in Newton and meter. Further, Y is equal to minus 1403.6 into 10 power 12 divided by the E value is given us 2 into 10 power 5 and the Y value is given us 4.3 into 10 power 8. Okay, so if I solve this, then I will get Y is equal to minus 16.32 mm. So that is my maximum deflection. Okay, so up to the calculation of final deflection equation, it is same like the previous problem. After that, at center x is equal to 4 and I have calculated the position maximum position at which the maximum deflection occurs. So that is dy by dx. In that I have neglected the region after section after point C and I have calculated the x. And after calculating x, then by using the same procedure I have calculated the y value. So the important thing about uniformly distributed load is the load should start from the section. That is why I have considered the two loads here. So this 40 kilonewton I have extended up to x and I have applied the same magnitude of force in the opposite direction so that it will be nullified. And this 40 is converted into 40 into x minus 3 at a distance of x minus 3 divided by 2. And the 40 in the opposite direction is converted into 40 into x minus 7 at a distance of x minus 7 by 2. And you can consider these two as the point loads and you can proceed the problem. So here this is the tutorial problem. A beam of 8 meter is simply supported at its ends. It carries a uniformly distributed load of 10 kilonewton per meter. Determine the deflection at its midspan, that is y at center. So here x will be 4 at the center. The position at which the maximum deflection occurs, the x value and the maximum deflection. Okay, so the important point here is, here the E and I value is directly given in kilonewton and meter. So here you don't need to multiply 10 power 12. You can directly substitute the values because the E value and I value is given in kilonewton and meter. That is very important. So here if you consider a section here, first for calculating the reaction force, consider the 10 kilonewton alone. So it is 10 into, so for calculating the reaction force, consider it is 10 into 2 at a distance of, this is A, C, D and B at a distance of 1 meter. So after calculating the reaction force, consider a plane here and you can consider the same 10 kilonewton per meter up to here and in the opposite direction also. So this is how you have to consider and you have to proceed the problem. So the problem is like the previous problem, you can refer that and you can find the solution. So this is the answer. Y at the midspan is minus 7.1 mm and the maximum Y is minus 7.95 mm.